Hello and welcome to our video on creating drawings in AutoDesk Inventor. When you go to create a drawing, you're going to go new, and normally this is what shows up, right? It's only because I was messing with it before. So when you open it up, this should be what pops out. We're going to go with our IDW drawings. AWG works with AutoCAD better, or like integrates there better. It also has a tiny bit of a bigger memory space. Other than that, I don't know too much of a difference between them. We're going to use IDW here. That's our presentation, though, for the other announcement. In the first assignment, they ask you to go looking for a metric template. So when we go into, if we wanted to go click down further in here, we can find different types of things. So let's see what exactly they ask for. This was metric JIS. So down here, right here, JIS within metric, JIS.IDW. So these are all different standards. ANSI is one of the ones I'm most familiar with. ISO and JIS as well. These ones I don't know too much about. But we're going to click this one right here. It's just standards as to how things should be presented. Engineering standards. So options when you go to create a drawing about how you want to do it. We're going to add a base. Okay, so select the file we want to, part we want. If you've used a part recently, it will pop up there. So like if you have a part open in another tab, it'll usually pop up there. ECPI 213, week 3. Oh no, get which one it is. Tutorial 1, 2, or 3. Tutorial 2. So now I have this base view. This is my base. So I want this to match whatever I want my base view to look like. This is the one we're going to have all the other ones based off of. I'm not going completely along the tutorials. So just know that. I'm kind of just introducing the concept. I want it to look like that. Is that what it looks like? Right now, close, but not completely. I have shading. So that's going to happen over here. So here we have hidden line removed, and shading. Which is funny because I don't really see hidden lines. I'm going to hit OK for now. There we go. Okay. So let's double click it to edit, not double click the part, double click the view to edit the view. That'll re-pop up this box right here where we can move it. You will not be able to move it otherwise. You can also rotate it on the cube. And so on. So we could change, let's say we didn't want hidden lines and we did want shading, we could do that. They don't reflect right away. I think if you double click here too, it should reopen. They don't reflect up right away. You have to hit this OK button, and then those changes will be active. So let's get rid of that shading there. The other things we have view identifier and scale. So you can change the scale here. You can also put in a specific number you are able to type here. I don't know offhand what you're going to need to do for these, but those are your options. Toggle label visibility. Let's hit OK and see what that does. So that adds view 1, 1 to 1. That's our scale. We could change the view identifier up here, or we can edit the view label, and that will pop up more information that we can edit there if we get to. So let's turn that off, hit OK, and see what else we want to do here. Creating other views based on one view. So our projected views are like side views are what it would look like projected to that area. Auxiliary is going to give us that more of a three-dimensional one. However, I like to use they're called isometric views. That's our one that's a pictogram that makes it look in 3D. You can create that with projected view as well. So for example, that right there, which is a weird spot for it to pop up. You see there's that green box. I clicked, that green box popped up. That means that it's waiting for this to come in. I could click more and create more. And I always forget what button you have to hit to make that work. So let's click that again. Right click and then create, and it will create that part. Double click if you want to. These ones are easier to drag, I believe. Our projected view, nope. Still requires us to have this open in order to drag our part and create that visual. For both of them, you're going to have to use the section tool. So section, detail, and overlay. Section will show something of the inside. Detail will enlarge an area of it. And overlay is going to have a secondary image over first. Like, let's say we wanted to, let's get a new one going, actually. Let me go back just to my standard. And I'm going to add in a chapter 12. Double bearing assembly. Okay. Let's scale this up a little bit. And hit OK. Okay. So here's our double bearing. Let me even move it up a little bit. Move it right there. Okay. So for this, section tool is going to cut a part of this out. So I want to click the view that I want to section. Then I want to click where I want to start sectioning. There is snapping to half points, so I'm going to snap down here. Make sure you clear that part though. If you don't clear it, let's clear it on this side, but not clear it on this side, and then see what that comes out to. So again, to end this, you're going to right click, hit continue, and now it's going to try to create that broken piece for you. You see how down here on this leg, there's jaggedness, there's jagged end. That's because we didn't clear this all the way. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to delete this. That's going to delete the whole view. And let's try again with clearing on both sides. We still want to snap to that midpoint to get a full quarter out of this, cut out of this. Now hit continue, and we'll see that there's a cleaner line down there. Okay, so that's our section tool. If we wanted to project from that sectioning, get a little something here, we could do that as well. Right click, create, and that's going to end that editing for you. Let's drag this over here. The section tool should move with it. Perfect. Line these up. See how it did that automatically? So when it comes to the sectioning tool, we are going to have to suppress this bolt from the sectioning. You see how all this is sectioned, but the bolt is not? We want to suppress the bolt from sectioning. So what we're going to do is go into our double bearing assembly here, click the drop down so that it opens up all these parts. Whether you used a component pattern or individual bolts, it doesn't matter. We're going to take that front bolt, we're going to right click, and we're going to go to section participation. See that section tool is selected. We want to change that to none. And why is it not showing? Let's try this again. See if it takes a minute to to process, or if it matters when we do that. So let's click here. Going to be less precise this time, but you guys still be precise with yours. Continue, go down here. Okay, so you see now, apparently you need to do it before you do the section tool. I don't think that's always been the case. So it could also be a little bit of a glitch. Sometimes when I'm on Zoom and Inventor, my computer memory doesn't like that, and it doesn't always work the best with me. So you see that bolt is there now. If we wanted to overlay, so you can overlay with additional views and things. Let's click this. Overlay. We don't have those right now, so we're just going to leave what we do have. I do have them because we used to use this for that purpose, but we're just going to leave them. We'll have hidden lines on the overlay and have it laid as an overlay. Okay. You see how now it overlaid that? Overlaid it, put that over. What else we need? Let's hide our hidden line so it's not so hectic. You see now we have that dotted line like showing where everything else would be. So that's our overlay tool. Detail tool you will need for an assignment for your parts, for your project parts, when you have to create drawings for them. Basically, click the center of where you want to detail. Go to the diameter you want to detail, click it, and then you can place your detail view wherever you see we get those jagged edges, like you cut something again, like you didn't clear that section tool. That's exactly what we're seeing. Okay, let's go back here. So let's go to annotate. So before we do that, break you will need for one of your part drawings. So in a minute, we'll go take a look at those. But the part drawings. Break is going to be similar to how you use other features. It'll just cut out the middle. So annotation. We have up here balloons that you can add. So these would add like what parts are there. You know what? Let me open up your project parts anyway. Here is your pneumatic gripper. Here are balloons, and here is a parts list. So balloons we're going to find up here. Parts list we're going to find right here. So we could balloon everything. Can you have it select all of it at once? No. Okay. So we can balloon one thing at a time by doing that. Again, if you wanted to create a landing, you could do like a little flat thing at the end and right click and a leader, I guess that would be called. Right click and get that balloon in there. The other thing we could do here, and this is my preference, is do auto balloons. So select the view that you want to add balloons to. Add or remove components, add all the components. You can do some creating or modifying visual here, but select placement and then place them all. If then I'm seeing things apply or okay, and then I can move them around, especially if I'm seeing things crossing or lack of clarity anywhere. So like 1 and 2 are very close, and their lines are very like skewed close together. So let's do that there. We could also change where this is pointing to. Two, I moved one. So I moved one. When I moved one, they thought I was going to the bushing there, I think. So be cautious with that. That's why we had two twos there for a second. Oh, I'm sorry. One is the top and one is the bottom. This would be the bushing here, the 3, and then 4 would be our bolts. Parts list we can add in as well. Select the view. Okay. And it'll get you in a parts list with which then you can modify and play with. Double click it and it will open up this area of your parts list. What else do we have to say? Text tools here. Leaders, if you want to do a leader without a bubble, do that this way. And you could say, nope. And so all that is happening here. Let's go to our project drawings. So we have our exploded drawing here, and then we go into our part files. This one has a detail view. Here's our break over here, the pin. So the reason you break something is because it's a lot longer than what shows value for the information, right? So all this whole thing is 23.6, but there's nothing really interesting in the center part. It's a consistent diameter all through that, consistent cross section. The parts that are interesting are just the end parts. So we cut out the middle for space on our drawing, and that's what the break tool does. The detail tool over here is zooming into this. This is a hard part to create. Right here, this 0.13, that's saying that there's a very small offset between the outer ring and the inner ring. If you look to the top, there's a farther distance apart between them than at the bottom. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I hope you all enjoyed your holidays and your time off. And I will see you all soon. Thank you. Have a good one.